Hey guys, we are going live with Dr. Zeb today. If you're new here, we give it just 1 minute for people to filter in. And if you're not, you know the drill. We are going live with Dr. Zeb in order to encourage people to sign up for the Year of the Man Summit. This is a free summit that I host every year online specifically for men so that they can get access to the tools and resources that they need in order to help their mental health. So I'm waiting for Zeb to come in. We're just walk. Hey guys, hey everyone. Talking everything men's mental health. Hey Zena, hey Rick. If you guys want to sign up for the Year of the Man Summit, it is free. It is the link in my bio, the top link, the Year of the Man Summit, and Zeb will be on the panel. Dr. Zeb, hello. Thank you for joining us today.
What's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
It's a great Friday. I'm excited to be here and really honored to be a part of what you've got going on. I'm very proud of your work, Elise, and excited to be a part of that. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you so much. I'm proud of your work. You have the best stories to relate to people's problems. I hope you're going to bring some of that fire. Dr. Zeb is going to be on the panel bringing the fire. That's going to be a rapid fire question. So if anybody wants to ask him questions on the panel, make sure you sign up for the Year of the Man Summit. But I want to know, throughout the work that you've done, when it comes to men's mental health, have you had a lot of male clients come to you? And if so, what is the usual problem that they struggle with?
It's funny. In this work, being a male, it's weird how the dynamics tend to work. Sometimes men have more clients that are women, and that's how I started. And I believe, honestly, Elise, as men began to see the value of the work and the approach that I take towards this work, then you started to see a rise in men come. And so now I would say my client ratio is about 65-35, which I'm impressed with. And it's really because men are starting to see the value of healing in the context of personal development. That in fact, when we work on ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, and really lock in those areas of our lives, then it really changes everything around us. And so, yeah, I love working in this space now with many more men who are joining in and understanding that their healing really opens up the door for a lot of people around them to be healed as well.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad that you found an increase in men's mental health, as far as clients, because I definitely have too since I first started. It's kind of now become almost a fad for men. Yep. In a good way. We have diet fads, we have workout fads, but now we have kind of like mental health fads. And I'm glad that men are starting to see the rise in their own, taking care of themselves, because self-care isn't always about the bubble baths and the treating yourself. It's about going through the hard things.
Absolutely.
And, there are different things that affect us culturally. There are different things that affect men and women. With your own diversity, do you find a lot of commonalities between the problems that the men you have as clients face?
Yeah, my saying is simple, that really healing is the universal language of humanity. That's what I believe, that we disagree on how to show love. I think people think love is the universal language, but the reality is, if you look at this culturally, some cultures show love in certain ways that other cultures would maybe see as maybe harm or even maybe perhaps abuse. But there is one thing we universally share in common, and that's pain. It doesn't matter if you are from London or if you're from the States. When you cry, everybody understands tears. Pain's the universal language of humanity with healing. And so I think that's the thing that has really brought people together in this space that I see. And that is, while we may not come from the same backgrounds, have the same experiences in terms of life experiences, even, sharing the same religions. I've got, clients that are, I tell people my clientele list is like a golden corral of folks like that are
just a buffet.
Oh God, it's a whole buffet of all types of people from all types of religious backgrounds. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because it proves my point. And that is, universally, we share in each other's pain, but we can also rejoice in each other's healing. And so when healing is the foundation of this work, and being as stable as we possibly can in those 5 areas, that's when we then begin to see our lives transform.
100%. I love this. You are dropping so much wisdom just in this little 5 minute
It's
Instagram
gonna be
live.
fun.
If
I'm
you guys are
excited to be
loving
here.
this, give some hearts, put some hearts in
Yes,
the chat, and any questions that you guys have, put them down below, because Dr. Zeb's time is very
I'm
valuable, and
honored to be here.
he was gracious enough
Honored to be
to
here.
be here on this live.
Honored.
So he's here for us, he's here for you guys. And any questions that you might have for him, don't miss your shot. You know what I mean? Put it down in the comment section. Once again, for anybody who's just come on, we're doing this to promote the Year of the Man
Yes.
Summit 2024. It's a free summit that I do every year for men to inspire them to approach their mental health and to give them access to tools, resources, content creators, psychologists, doctors who they may not be able to have access for. So it's for free. The link is in my bio. It might be in Dr. Zeb's
Yep.
bio at this point. And if you want extra access to Dr. Zeb or any of the other content creators, you can get VIP, purchase through their links, and you'll get extra time to talk to them and actually ask them questions. Someone said they're excited to see you in the
Yeah,
daylight.
because all of my lives are always at night, and it's just so funny. You know, my crew really likes to crack jokes, at least. So just don't be shocked
What,
if
that
it
you're
turns
like a
into comedy
vampire?
hour. Yeah.
Can you paint a
Sure.
picture or define what successful healing is?
Sure. I think successful healing looks like wholeness. And I think being whole looks different for every person because it's very much grounded in where we start. I think the magic word for healing is stability. I think that's a very important word. Stability, it in essence implies in the middle, right? Just imagine a pendulum that swings to the left and to the right, but then there is this center point where there is no speed. That point would represent stability. And so when a person says, I want to heal, what I encourage them to do is mentally to get stable, emotionally stable, spiritually stable, physically stable, right? Financially stable. That's the magic word, because if we look at healing as some mark, let's say we look at healing as you have to reach 100%, right? You have to reach 100% meter in order to be healed. The problem with that is that then you will always be reaching for a mark that a lot of people feel like they cannot meet. Stability is golden because stability implies things like consistency, discipline, commitment, that are subwords that really operate around this word of stability, that says that if we continuously put in the work, we can get to a place where our emotions aren't too high and aren't too low, but they're stable. So that means when life happens and bad things happen, we feel the impact of it, but we don't swing too high. We can stay in the middle, right? Or when we have very exciting moments, I think there's danger in even riding high highs, because sometimes when the letdown comes, it really comes. And so just being able to embrace good times, but still remain stable, really speaks to being healed. And so it's a question that I get a lot. And I think people really misunderstand this idea of healing, that it is this mark that you get to. And yes, that's partially true. But the idea is really about stabilization, that when all of your parts of your life are stable, you can show up in any space and come up against anything and not be concerned about what's going to come against you. And so that's really the way I teach it.
Okay. So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What do we do then if our sense of stability is detrimental to our health?
That we need to connect with someone like you, Elise, who is going to tell us the truth. Now, this is where I separate from a lot of people. I did a post about this yesterday. There is a heavy misconception about counseling, therapy, coaching work, that it is the session where they sit on your virtual couch, Elise, and they just confess and say, oh, let me tell you what's on my brain. And then you listen to them and you take notes and say, oh, what else? And they talk for 45 minutes and then they leave and they have no solutions, nothing in hand as a plan to be able to make adjustments. I don't do my work that way. I teach my clients the power of self-awareness. Self-awareness, my definition of self-awareness, is honesty about who we are, where we are, what we're doing. At the foundation of healing is honesty. And I tell clients very straightforward, if you do not want to have an honest conversation, I can't help you. Healing is not possible without honesty, which means, sure, we can process what people did to us, but we also have to process our part in it. Sure, we can process what happened to us, but we also have to process our part in it. That requires us to be honest. And so many people are struggling with healing, frankly, because they've never had someone like you or I, at least, look them in the face and say, you know what? I want to see you heal, but I want to see you fix your attitude. I want to see you get more structure in your life. Those are very hard conversations, and you have to master in having hard conversations if you want to bring people from a place of brokenness to healing. And so without a doubt, honesty is the foundation of healing. If there is no honesty, there is no healing. You can feel good and feel like you're over the flu just because you're not going to the restroom, but it doesn't mean you're not running a temperature. A lot of people think they're healed, but it's not based on the foundation of honesty.
Yes, I feel like a lot of people think they're healed based on the
Yeah.
opposite, based on the foundation of dishonesty, which is what the
Yes.
internet is kind of
Oh
perpetuating
gosh.
right now, like a bunch of lies that kind of tack on to the victim
Yep.
mentality of, you're right, it was never your fault in the first place, it was always all their fault. But that really bypasses the own beauty of your healing. And that's the first question that
Wow.
I ask my clients when they come in the room is, at a certain point, you have to let go of a
Yes.
part of yourself
Yes.
to become who you want to be.
Yes.
Are you, you can't, a lot of times we want to heal
Hmm.
by doing exactly everything that we've already been doing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want to heal, but I want to do it this way. Like, you don't
Yep.
get to control how you heal, because you have to let go
Absolutely.
of that control, because whatever you've been doing has gotten you here
Hmm.
into this place. And so what they do is they search for something to validate where they
Hmm.
are and to validate why they can't get better. And that's why we don't see a lot of improvement. We just see a lot of people getting angrier and angrier and
Absolutely.
sadder and
Absolutely.
lonelier, because they don't want to look in the mirror. And that is the harsh
It's
truth.
nothing but the truth, and it's so funny. Have you ever skydived, Elise? You ever
No,
skydived?
not yet.
Oh, I did that off my bucket list 2 years ago. I went skydiving and I was shocked because in my research, there's one thing I didn't research. And what I didn't research is that the person who's jumping, i.e., I signed up and paid to skydive, I don't get a parachute. I didn't know that. I thought they put a parachute on me. And then the tandem jumper who's on your back also has a parachute. I discovered when I got there, I don't have a parachute. The only person that has a parachute is the tandem jumper, who has two parachutes, an emergency parachute and a main parachute. This is important because when people come to you, at least for work, or go to any other counselor or therapist who is sincere about people healing, you have to understand that when you sit in that chair, your job is not to have a parachute on your back. Your
Mm-hmm.
job is to jump. It is to exercise what we call vulnerability, to jump out of the plane and to trust that the person on your back, the therapist, the coach, the counselor, understands how long we need to float and how long we need to free fall. That requires guidance. That requires trust. To your point, that requires the ability to let go. A lot of people are sitting in your chair, but they're grabbing your parachute, Elise.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way. You cannot grab the tandem jumper's parachute, or else it's going to be a major problem, right? You can't do that. But you've got to exercise some trust and say, listen, I'm in this space. I have on my back a person who is qualified to walk me from this very difficult place in my life into a greater place. My job is to do this. I remember they were training us, Elise, and they said, listen, they put us in this little makeshift like box that was like a simulation of a plane. And they worked on your technique, right? Where they were saying, you stand in the door like this, you kind of crouch down, and then when they give you the nudge, you go, and then you throw your hands behind your head and your feet behind you. This is funny because in certain religious cultures, hands up means surrender. So when you're jumping out of a plane and you have a professional on your back, you do not need a parachute because you have the professional, and your hands need to be up because you need to be vulnerable in the space. And so many people, to your point, go to therapy and they're trying to hold on to their way. When in reality, if their way would have corrected them, they wouldn't be talking to us. So this is what this is all about. And this is why I admire your work. I love that approach that you have because people want to sit in the seat, but they still want to hold on to the parachute.
Yo, guys, drop some fire there, because I got chills. Every single story you are able to turn into a lesson. That's like such a gift.
Thank
You're
you.
really like a preacher. Were you a preacher before?
I was.
Are
I
you?
was a pastor. I actually was
Well,
a
I can
pastor.
tell.
I pastored.
You
I,
have the gift of the
yeah, I
pastor.
pastored a church, and it's a funny story. Won't bore the crowd with this today, but pastored a church. And I'm going to tell this story soon online, and really after the pandemic, just really felt the nudge and the urge that really ministry is greater than a wall. It's really greater than four sets of walls. And so when I do this work and having over 800 clients in 22 countries, typing church when I use analogies to explain very complicated therapy and counseling types of terms. It's a beautiful thing to see people heal universally. And so this is how I landed in this space. It was completely accidental, but I believe divine at the same time.
100%. 100%. Love that.
Oh, you
Well, I
guys,
want to be cognizant of your time, Dr. Zeb. Is there anything that you want to give to the crowd, give to the people, to tell them?
Let's talk about the 24th. I think the 24th is big. At least I do. I wanted to wait until today's session. As soon as we get off, there's going to be some things that are released on my site. And I really want to encourage everyone that has never participated in this event. I remember, at least when you reached out, I looked at the history of the event, and she has always historically had a great lineup of people who have come in to empower both men and women. And so I'm excited about the 24th. I need everybody watching to do me a favor. I need you to go to Elise's page now and do two things. Number one, you gotta hit the follow button, right? Because you need to be alerted anytime she has amazing content coming out. I follow Elise. I believe in her work and what she's doing. So hit that follow button. And then two, look at the link in her profile and go ahead and sign up for this event. And just as she mentioned, it's a free event. So you're gonna have free access to several different speakers, really from around the world, that are gonna be talking to men and people who love men about the power of developing themselves personally. And listen, as the bishop and self-appointed bishop of health and wellness, I want to tell you this. I want to see your face there. I believe we are absolutely in a time now where people are hurting and people understand the language of healing, the language of living a stable life in all of these areas. And so I need you to do it right now. Her Instagram. Elise, what's your Instagram? I see a couple of questions about what's your Instagram. What's the easiest way to get it out to everyone?
So it's Elise, ELISEMICHEALS. If you get a scam bot following you, asking you for a donation, I promise that's not me. I would never ask you for a donation.
You too?
Yeah, people are always messaging me. Do you have more accounts? No, I do not. This is my only account. Gosh. But I love that because you said we're at a time where people are hurting. Yeah. But I also feel like that means we're at a time where people are healing. Absolutely. And I think that the universe, like, someone told me once, don't rob someone of their rock bottom. Nice. And I think that the world is coming to a rock bottom soon. That's really good. That's good. Yeah. Rock bottom, like Les Brown says, if you can look up, you can get up. So as long as we can fall on our backs, right? And I like to focus forward. I don't like to focus just on the hurting. Yes. It's the healing we need to focus on. It's the harmony, the joy, the peace, the sustenance of life. Because if we just spend all the time in the wound, well, then we've lost the joy of the desire. So let's get back in the desire. Let's collaborate. I'm so blessed to have crossed you in this internet world. I'm blessed for the internet world every day. Likewise. And I can't wait to see you on the 24th on the panel. It's going to be fun. And you're going to kill it. And everybody in this room, I can't wait to see you. It's going to be fun. Elise, do me a favor. You've had several people put your IG there. Can you pin that so that especially my followers from my page can follow you and then get direct access to that? And I'll also make sure, there we go. She's going to pin that there. I will also make sure, that underscore is important because she has the same problem I have. I have about 16 fake pages on TikTok. It's crazy. People selling crypto. It's just the wildest thing. People are crazy. If people message like, good morning, Starshine. Right. Like little stars. I don't talk like that. Like, is this you? And I'm like, I don't say Starshine. This energy, okay? Who says Starshine? Like nobody says Starshine, right? I'm going to give you a reading from your ancestors. And I'm like, so dude, crazy. These scammers are making more money than me. They are. I don't even charge as much as they do. Go to my page and like actually do something for yourself. Yes, it's big business. Like the scamming business is big business. But I am just so honored. Again, I'm excited to be a part of the 24th. Just want to encourage everybody again, just to be a part of this great event. Elise is a pro at this. This isn't her first go around. And so you're going to really appreciate the professionalism in which this is done. And again, I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm going to push it on my side. It'll start rolling out heavy today. And I can't wait to engage with all of you that sign up. Okay, guys. And don't worry, this live is going to be on my page and I will try to add Zeb as a collaborator. So he has it on his as well. That's perfect. You can watch the replay. Yep, we will. But all right, guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Zeb. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day. Pleasure. And I'll see you soon, okay? See you soon. Y'all take care. Bye now. Bye, guys.